are illegally occupying HOA property.
This is my land. You're trespassing. My documents prove you're in violation.
You are illegally occupying HOA property. Karen's voice cut through the morning air like a blade. I don't belong to your HOA, and you don't own a single inch of this land. I shot back, standing barefoot on my porch at 7 a.m, while she waved papers in my face like a victory flag. You use our road, Karen snapped. You benefit from our maintenance. That makes you subject to our authority. That road existed before your subdivision was even poured, I said. Check the county records. Her jaw tightened. I am the authority, Karen replied. Welcome back to Ruthless HOA Tales, where HOA Karen doesn't just enforce rules, she invents them. 7 hours after midnight, her inspectors had pounded on my cabin door like federal agents. No warning, no courtesy. Just, you owe $4,800 in unpaid HOA dues, and we're filing a lien if you don't comply. This cabin was inherited from my grandfather. Paid off, surveyed, registered long before Karen ever printed her first HOA newsletter. But Karen, the self-crowned queen of Lakeshore HOA, had decided my land now belonged to her little kingdom. She adjusted her sunglasses even though the sun barely touched the tree line. The board voted, Karen said coldly. Your parcel has been incorporated into HOA jurisdiction. Incorporated how? I asked. I never signed anything. Boundary updates, she said smoothly. Legal filings. Perfectly valid. That word, valid, it didn't sit right. The inspector beside her began snapping photos of my porch, my windows, my solar panels. Stop photographing my house, I warned. If you have nothing to hide, Karen said, folding her arms, you shouldn't worry. There it was. Control. This wasn't about dues. It wasn't about roads. It was about power. You don't get to redraw maps because you want lake access, I said. Karen smiled, thin, calculated. If you don't comply, fines begin immediately, daily, then foreclosure proceedings. She stepped closer. We have flexibility when dealing with non-compliant residents. I'm not your resident. Karen lowered her voice. You will be. That was the moment it became clear. HOA, Karen wasn't confused. She was hunting, and my grandfather's cabin, the one place I came to escape the noise of the world, had just become her next acquisition. I drove into town the same morning, didn't argue further, didn't threaten back. If HOA Karen wanted paperwork, I'd go straight to the source. The county recorder's office was quiet, fluorescent lights, old tile floors, the kind of place where truth lives in file cabinets. I gave the clerk my parcel number. She typed, paused, typed again. Her expression shifted. Sir, there are 2 boundary files attached to your property. My stomach tightened. What do you mean 2? The original survey from 30 years ago shows your cabin outside of Lakeshore HOA jurisdiction. She turned the monitor slightly. But there's an amended boundary filing from 6 months ago. 6 months. Karen had been HOA president for 7. Who filed the amendment? I asked. The clerk hesitated. Submitted by Lakeshore HOA, signed by the acting president, Karen Whitmore. Of course. No public hearing listed, she added quietly. No annexation approval from the county board. That's unusual. Unusual. That was a polite word for fraud. I requested certified copies of both maps, every filing, every signature. If Karen wanted to play authority, I wanted receipts. When I got back to the cabin, an orange envelope was taped to my door. Non-compliance notice, $150 daily fine. Late penalties stacking. Threat of lien. HOA. Karen wasn't waiting for validation. She was creating pressure. The next morning, a county environmental truck pulled up. Anonymous complaint. Sewage contamination. I explained the composting system. Legal. Inspected years ago. The inspector walked the perimeter, took samples, shook his head. No violations, he said, handing me the report. Before he left, he lowered his voice. There's been a spike in complaints from your HOA lately, all pointing at this address. Weaponized paperwork. That's when the real squeeze started. 2 days later, my access road was blocked. Metal posts sunk into the gravel. Fresh sign bolted in. Private HOA access. No trespassing. The road my grandfather built, the road that existed decades before Karen's subdivision. Chained. Locked. My only way out was a muddy 2-mile trail through the woods. Karen wasn't just filing papers. She was isolating me, and rumors started spreading. At the general store, I felt it. Heard you're refusing compliance, someone muttered. They say you're dumping waste in the lake. That's how HOA Karen operated. File a complaint, start a rumor, create social pressure, squeeze until surrender. That evening, sitting on my porch, staring at the lake, it finally settled in. This wasn't about $4,800. This was about annexing my land. If she could force my parcel into HOA jurisdiction, she could find me into foreclosure, then resell it. Peacefully. Legally. On paper. HOA, Karen hadn't made a mistake. She'd engineered a takeover. But she forgot one thing. Paper trails cut both ways. The knock came at dusk. Not aggressive, not official. Careful. An older man stood on my porch holding a rolled-up map. "Name's Walter," he said. "Retired surveyor. Been on this lake 40 years. He unrolled the document across my table. "I surveyed your grandfather's parcel myself," he said. "You are not and never have been inside Lakeshore HOA." The map was dated, stamped, signed, clear boundary lines, clear exclusion. That was ally number one. The next night, a woman arrived, nervous but determined. "I used to sit on the HOA board," she said. "Karen tried to expand boundaries twice. Both times we voted no." She handed me a flash drive, emails, internal messages, Karen pushing to adjust maps, talking about untapped revenue parcels, mentioning my lake access specifically. Ally number two. Then came the third, a neighbor from deeper in the subdivision. He had video, Karen directing workers to install the roadblock. "Do it before he notices," she says clearly on camera. "We'll sort the paperwork later." That wasn't enforcement. That was intent. By the end of the week, my kitchen table looked like a courtroom exhibit. Original county map, fraudulent amended filing, surveyor testimony, internal emails, video of road obstruction, environmental inspection clearing me. The fear that had been sitting in my chest for days finally shifted. HOA Karen wasn't untouchable. She was sloppy, and she'd grown used to no one pushing back. The community meeting was packed. Karen walked in wearing a crisp suit and a performance smile. She presented her doctored map first. Unpaid dues, environmental risk, unregistered dwelling. She spoke with the calm authority of someone who assumes victory. Then I stepped forward. No yelling, no emotion, just documents. I laid down the certified county map, then the fraudulent filing, missing required approval signatures, then the annexation rejection letter from the county dated months earlier, then the email chain showing Karen pushing expansion for revenue purposes. Finally, the video. The room went silent when her voice played, "Block the road. We'll fix the boundaries later." The former board member stood up. We voted against expansion. She filed it anyway. Murmurs spread. Karen's composure cracked, just slightly. She tried to interrupt, tried to redirect, but the surveyor raised his hand. "I staked that boundary myself. Her filing is false." And just like that, the room shifted. For the first time since this started, HOA Karen wasn't in control of the narrative. She wasn't enforcing rules. She was exposed. And now the county wanted answers. Before we close this out, if you believe nobody should lose their home to HOA abuse, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Stories like this matter more than people think. Now let's finish it. The county hearing was packed. HOA Karen arrived with her attorney and that same tight smile she wore on my porch that first morning. Like this was all just a misunderstanding. It wasn't. The judge didn't entertain drama. He entertained documents, certified county boundaries, original deed records, surveyor testimony, annexation rejection letters, internal HOA emails, video of Karen ordering the road blocked. When the fraudulent amended boundary filing was projected onto the screen, the room went still. No county authorization, no public hearing, no legal annexation approval, just Karen's signature. The judge didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. The Lakeshore HOA had no jurisdiction over this parcel. All fines are void. The road is to be unblocked immediately. An investigation into the boundary filing will proceed. Just like that. The pressure that had wrapped around my chest for weeks loosened. Karen tried to speak. The judge cut her off. "Ma'am, this court is not a tool for territorial expansion." That was the moment it ended. Outside the courthouse, neighbors who once avoided eye contact approached quietly. Apologies, handshakes, bread, letters. One woman said, "You didn't just protect your cabin, you protected all of us." The HOA board dissolved within a month. Karen was suspended pending fraud investigation. The road posts were removed. The lake went quiet again. And the cabin? Still standing. Solar panels humming. Morning light on the water. My grandfather's boundary stakes exactly where he left them. That's when I finally understood something. Peace isn't just silence. Peace is what's left after you refuse to surrender. So let me ask you, Have you ever gone up against an HOA Karen? Ever had someone try to redraw the lines around your life? Drop your story below. And if these real fights, real victories, and real HOA showdowns matter to you, like this video, subscribe for more Ruthless HOA Tales and share it with someone who believes home is worth defending. Because sometimes the only thing standing between you and losing everything is the moment you decide not to back down.